say that I am excited for today's review is an understatement. What we are reviewing is not only one of the best Dragon Ball movies of all time, not only probably one of the best anime movies I've ever seen, but it's also up there with some of my favorite films of all time. I literally have only one flaw with this movie. One. And it's a very minor one. So, let's not waste any more time. This is going to be at least an hour-long review, or at least close to an hour, because there's a lot to talk about with this one. What's up? What's happening? What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to Animation Station, your #1 stop station for anything and everything animation, including 2 Super Saiyans that fight for the fates of the Earth. Welcome to my 10th anniversary special of Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods, released in 2013. And I didn't see it until 2014, but yeah, this is the movie that made me, reacquainted with Dragon Ball. Like, I watched it a lot as a kid, but it was really just in bits and pieces. I never saw the whole thing from start to finish. And I only saw the Return of Cooler movie. That was all the knowledge I had, and then up to that point, I was just out of the franchise and I lost my passion for it. And then in 2014, I heard about this. I heard about Battle of Gods, and I'm like, well, let's check it out. I remember liking the series well enough as a kid. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, this is what made me a diehard again and made me watch the entire series from start to finish on DBZ Kai on Nicktoons in 2013. So, yeah, this one, needless to say, has a very big place in my heart. Not just as a Dragon Ball fan, but as just an animation fan in general. This is up there with some of my favorite movies of all time. It has been hailed by so many people, Team 4-Star included, as the best Dragon Ball Z movie, even though I probably wouldn't go that far anymore, because there is just one that's slightly better. We'll get to it when we get to it. But point is, this is still a masterpiece. And I'm just going to say this right now. Go out and buy this movie by any means necessary. Heck, go out and see its special 10th anniversary screenings in theaters. Because this is a movie that you need to see for yourself. It is a movie that changed the franchise. It's the movie that brought the franchise back after 17 years of a hiatus. And it pretty much rejuvenated the entire series, because after this we got the Resurrection F movie, and then we finally got another actual canon anime continuation of Z in the, in my opinion, criminally underrated Dragon Ball Super. So, yeah, there's a lot to talk about with this one, not only because of things that I have to say about it, but the summary on here is long as hell. So, sit back, grab a popcorn, grab a drink. This is going to be a very long video. Probably the longest we're going to get in this entire marathon until we get to DBS Broly. So, yeah. Without any further ado, here is my special 10th anniversary review of the masterpiece that is Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. Let's begin. 4 years have passed since the titanic battle with Majin Buu, which determined the fate of the entire universe. From the sacred world of the Kai, Kabuto Kai and Old Kai telepathically discuss with King Kai, or North Kai if you prefer, about the early awakening of Beerus, the god of destruction. Goku is visiting King Kai's planet in order to train, because he's Goku, that's what he does. And while he is running with Bubbles the monkey, he overhears their conversation. King Kai then explains that there are gods who give birth to life forms and worlds, but in contrast to them, there are gods who maintain balance by destroying things. So, like, the classic yin and yang scenario. You can't have creation without destruction. Perfect yin and yang scenario. So, the aptly named god of destruction, which is Beerus. We'll talk a lot more about him later. I have a lot of really good things to say about Beerus. Ecstatic over the thought of such a powerful foe, Goku states that he wishes to challenge Beerus. Because he's Goku. He loves to fight. That's part of his character. But King Kai proceeds to scold him. Not something we haven't seen before, revealing that Beerus has power that is in an entirely different dimension. On the sacred world of the Kais, Kibito Kai and Old Kai wonder how many planets will be annihilated now that the God of Destruction has awoken. And if you're wondering who Kibito Kai and Old Kai is, well, stay tuned for my review of the Boo Saga, where I'll explain all that. Meanwhile, on Beerus' planet, yeah, they don't really give the planet an actual name. They just say it's Beerus' world. Whatever. My freaking mouse wants to work today. Stay. The mysterious Whis walks slowly with a serious look. I have a lot more to say about Whis too. Awesome new character. As he arrives in Beerus' bedroom, alarm bombs are exploding, but Beerus continues his 39-year-long slumber. The god's attendant Whis insists that he awake now and threatens to perform an awakening song if he does not arise. A joke that he can't sing. Terrified, Beerus shoots awake and proceeds to slide down from his bed atop a floating rock. And it's done in a very comical Toriyama way. He's still cranky, having been woken up 15 years earlier than before, but is reminded by Whis that he was the one who set this as the time of his next awakening, as he is then questioned about his wanting to be woken early. Beerus, now cleaning his fur, because he is a cat, states that something in this era concerns him, something he needs to check. As he proceeds to eat breakfast, Beerus questions Whis about the galactic tyrant Frieza, or as he calls it, bastard. He calls him a bastard. Yeah, there's a little bit of cursing in this movie. Beerus questions Whis about the galactic tyrant Frieza and whether or not he had destroyed planet Vegeta. Whis confirms the plan's obliteration and Beerus is pleased to hear this. He then states that he was not particularly fond of the people of that planet, specifically King Vegeta. It is revealed that Beerus planned to destroy the planet himself, but he never bothered because it was so distant. This adds even more context to the destruction of Planet Vegeta and all the events that follow afterwards. Because Beerus pretty much tasked Frieza to destroy the planet for him. That's a bombshell, and we're not even 15 minutes into the movie, and it drops a bombshell. So that's crazy. But of course, Vegeta doesn't find out, because then that would have been, that wouldn't have ended well for anybody involved. Where was it? But he never bothered because it was so distant. Yeah, it's so far away, he's just like, this isn't worth my time. Like, this is what I like about Beerus. He has actual character. He's not a goofy one-off villain like we've had in the past Dragon Ball movies. No, this one, he is a well-developed, very complex, intricate character villain. Like, he's really freaking cool. Beerus then reveals his distaste toward the evil Frieza as well, and he decides to destroy him next. However, Whis informs Beerus that Frieza was already killed some time ago by a Saiyan named Goku, who is also known by his birth name, Kakarot. Whis then uses his scepter like a projector to display the past battle between Super Saiyan Goku and Frieza on planet Namek. This is one of the first of many sequences in the movie where they actually reanimate classic moments from the Dragon Ball series. Like, it already started off with a big intro, pretty much flying through the story of Dragon Ball up to this point in a nice, quick, abridged way. We have the reanimation of Goku and Bulma first meeting, which is great. It's short, but it's brief. Then it jumps to King Piccolo. A bit weird, it just jumped past the Red Ribbon Army, but whatever. It jumps to King Piccolo, and then it jumps to Piccolo Jr., and we see the ending of that fight reanimated in this stellar, beautiful new modern animation. And then it moves on, of course, to the Saiyan Saga, to the Z stuff. We see his fight with Vegeta, we see his battle against Frieza. Again, he does that twice. And he does the classic "you fool" moment, and, that part. And then the androids, then we get a little bit of the androids, then we also get the end of the Cell games where Goku sacrificed himself, and it was up to Gohan to destroy it. And then it goes straight to Majin Buu with the final Spirit Bomb. And that's pretty much the end of that. For like, the whole opening sequence already perfectly sets the tone of the movie. It is an anniversary celebration of everything Dragon Ball has been and everything it's built up to this very point. Like, it is a huge movie. They treated this like a big event. And what a big event it was. We'll talk more about that later. But I love that they're reanimating classic sequences from Z's entire history in this movie in little flashbacks. Like, yes, it's just piece by piece by piece, but it's still really freaking good, and it looks beautiful. Not to mention they even went so far afterwards to completely reanimate the Goku-Frieza fights. It's abridged, obviously, but it is the Goku-Frieza fight. It is reanimated, and it just recently apparently has an English dub, so that's really cool. So definitely check that out. Definitely check that out. Whis then notes that while nearly all the Saiyans were destroyed along with their planet, a few survived and are living on other worlds, including the Saiyan Prince himself, Vegeta. Again, another great thing that this movie has over a bunch of the other movies is that Vegeta isn't just a side character. He isn't just thrown in there to have a cool moment and then be gone the next. He is there as a pivotal part of the story. And he also has one of the funniest moments you will ever see in Dragon Ball. We will talk about it when we get to it, because oh my goodness is it funny. While watching, Beerus touches and destroys one of the eggs he was eating, and is genuinely surprised that anyone else could take down Frieza, let alone a Saiyan. Whis then further explains that the surviving Saiyans have acquired the ability to transform into Super Saiyans. The phrase appears to be familiar to Beerus, as he then recalls having dreamed of battling something similar, a Super Saiyan God. He is convinced this must be a prophetic dream, but is reminded by Whis that his dreams have been very unreliable in the past. To settle the matter, Beerus decides to consult with the Oracle Fish. You know, the backpack thing from Fortnite. He questions the fish on whether or not a prediction was once made about his one day confronting a mighty warrior. But the Oracle Fish does not recall ever even stating that. You know, nice little bit of Dragon Ball humor, like, did I really say that? Yes, you did. And then Beerus looks at him annoyed. It's hilarious. It is so funny. However, Beerus is convinced that it was stated, so the fish agrees that it must have been so. Now, Beerus has no doubt that this warrior must be the Super Saiyan God. Whis is still skeptical, though, and finds it hard to imagine anyone posing a real challenge to Beerus, because he's literally a god of destruction. They decide to track down this foe by hunting down the remaining Saiyans. Whis reveals that most of them are on Earth, which is planet 4032877 Green, according to the dub. However, the one who defeated Frieza, Goku, is currently on King Kai's planet, so the two set off to confront him first. On Earth, Bulma is throwing herself a huge birthday party at Capsule Corp, and nearly all her friends and family are partaking in the celebration with the exception of Goku and Vegeta, who much to her annoyance are off training. Because, it's her birthday. It's a huge, big celebration, and her husband and one of her closest friends are not there. I'd be pissed too, so you can't really blame her for being mad in this situation. It perfectly fits her character, and it makes a whole lot of sense. Not to mention it leads to a really funny line later when Goku remembers, just out of nowhere, that Bulma's party was today and he forgot. Classic Goku oblivious humor. Also, I think a birthday party was a really good choice to get all these characters back together again, because you have Gohan, Goten, Trunks, Videl, Mr. Satan, you have Bulma's mom and dad, you have Piccolo, you have... who else is in here? Puar, Oolong, Yamcha, Tien, Krillin, even Boo, who's now been reformed and reincarnated to someone good. So, well, the good part of Boo. It's a whole thing. I'll explain it when we get to the Boo saga. But yeah, that's pretty much how we get all the legacy characters back in this movie, including ones I'm not too fond of, but we'll get there when we get there. On King Kai's planet, King Kai warns Goku that Beerus is heading their way. Not But first, not only after Goku gives him a heart attack by screaming out in frustration, and King Kai thinks that it's Beerus showing up, and then it turns out that Goku just remembered that Bulma's party was today, and you can tell he's scared of her. Like, you don't understand, King Kai. She's gonna be pissed. Like, nice little subversion, and then Beerus starts to show up. Like, nice subversion. However, much to Goku's confusion, he is unable to sense anybody. King Kai then explains that the energy of a god is beyond Goku's comprehension. That's why he is unable to feel his presence. King Kai hides Goku in the house, but it is too late. Beerus and Whis have already arrived. After King Kai politely welcomes them, Beerus complains about how small the planet is, but Whis reminds him that he himself destroyed the original one not long ago, after losing in a game of hide-and-seek. Again, they're just adding more to his character. And not only that, it's funny. Beerus then proceeds to explain that he has traveled here because he has business with a Saiyan, and he calls out Goku. Already knowing that Goku was on that planet because of Whis. So, yeah, hiding Goku was a bit of a pointless thing, but it's whatever. After a brief introduction, Beerus questions Goku about the Super Saiyan God. But while Goku and King Kai are both very familiar with the regular Super Saiyan transformations, neither of them has heard of this mysterious new form. Which makes sense, it's never been in the series before, and this is the first time that they're bringing gods into the world building, into the lore. So, this is all new to Goku, and it makes entire sense that he doesn't know anything about it. Goku then respectfully challenges Beerus, much to the dismay of King Kai, who continues to insist that he is being very foolish. Goku then proceeds to demonstrate the various Super Saiyan levels that he is capable of utilizing. These feats impress Beerus, but reveals that he is not particularly concerned and that Goku is either very confident or just an arrogant fool. It ends up being the latter. Nevertheless, Super Saiyan 3 Goku then engages Beerus in combat, but his first attack is effortlessly blocked. Goku was then tossed and sent flying into the ground by a mere flick to the head. Now one of Beerus' funniest and most signature moves. Like, he's so powerful, he can literally just send a Super Saiyan 3 across a planet with just a flick of his finger. Like, if that doesn't sell you on how powerful he really is, I'm not sure what will. Now seemingly angry, makes sense, he got flicked. Goku charges once again, but Beerus repeatedly dodges and blocks Goku's attacks, and even effortlessly evades a mighty punch that subsequently blows straight through King Kai's planet. Yeah, you can definitely think that King Kai's not going to be very happy about that. Beerus' incredible speed then allows him to come up behind Goku, and he defeats him with a single carefree chop to the neck. Which is a callback to some of the parts of that happened in Z. Like, when Majin Vegeta took out his son for his own safety by karate chopping him, and then he also did the same to Goten. So, yeah, there's references littered all throughout this movie. We're going to try to hit every single one of them, but we'll see what happens. Rendering him unconscious and causing him to revert back to his base form, and just walking away whistling. Like, that's hilarious. Disappointed by the subsequent lack of challenge, Beerus departs in order to learn if Vegeta and the other Saiyans on Earth know more about this mysterious Super Saiyan God. Meanwhile, on Earth, Vegeta is off on his own training in the time chamber the personal chamber that Bulma designed for him. When King Kai telepathically contacts him, he is then warned about the impending arrival of Beerus, and reveals he has heard of the God Destruction before, but he is not worried about the situation. Nevertheless, King Kai warns that the Earth will be destroyed if they do not stay away from Beerus, but Vegeta refuses to heed these warnings until King Kai informs him that Beerus took down Super Saiyan 3 Goku with just 2 blows. Again, throwing everything you thought you knew about the power scaling of DBZ out the window. After King Kai's transmission, Goku wakes up and is just barely alive. Meanwhile, the shocked Vegeta rushed out and interrupts the party to warn everybody, but Beerus and Whis have already arrived. Beerus casually greets him, and it is revealed that the two have met before. Vegeta then recalls that when he was a boy, his father, King Vegeta, treated Beerus to a feast in his palace, and that Beerus used the Saiyan King as a stepping stone while he was eating. Yeah, so we get more context about King Vegeta as well. And it's not a scene we've seen before, because obviously this is something entirely new. At this point, Beerus is an entirely different new character. So this is all completely new stuff that just happens to take place in the timeline that's already established. Not to mention, like, if it weren't for the fan base, this wouldn't even be canon. But because it did so well, because it was received so positively, it became official canon to the franchise, which was then later reinforced when they recapped it in Dragon Ball Super. Gonna tell you right now, watch the movie, don't watch the saga. The saga is garbage, the movie's amazing. Okay? Just making that really clear. Where were we? Sorry, I lost my spot. Now seeing Beerus face to face again, Vegeta realizes the God of Destruction is incredibly dangerous. Beerus then notices that they are having some sort of party, and Vegeta proceeds to explain that this is his wife's party. His wife's birthday party. I can't talk today. Before proceeding to partake in the festivities, Beerus questions Vegeta about the Super Saiyan God. Vegeta explains that he knows nothing about it either. Well, it's more like he realizes that just from the shocked, confused response that Vegeta gives to that. Whis, who was previously skeptical, is now confident that Beerus' prophetic dream is once again a mistake. Bulma then arrives and Beerus and Whis politely introduce themselves. And yeah, she's drunk in this scene if you don't already know, because she's been drinking so much wine because she's been so mad at Goku and Vegeta for not even showing up. So, not to mention, Vegeta yelled at her earlier, so she's definitely a bit irritable right now, to say the very least. And yes, she's straight up drunk. If you listen to the voice acting closely while you're watching, she's literally drunk. Her words are slurred as all hell. So, yeah. This is an adult anime, so you shouldn't be surprised that that's in here. The festivities continue with Piccolo singing karaoke. I mean, we don't actually hear him sing karaoke, it's just a little blink and you miss it scene, but it's pretty funny. Whis eating and Beerus break dancing. All the while, Vegeta continues to play the polite and worrisome host. Again, makes sense. He's trying to keep the God Destruction from destroying the Earth. As the festivities continue, it is revealed that the grand prize of Bulma's bingo tournament is the set of the 7 Dragon Balls. I almost said Sega. I don't know what's wrong with me. Bulma just wanted to have a reason to see everyone. This is why she has special prizes for the bingo game, such as a castle, as she knew everyone would get together if she had these kind of prizes. Makes a whole lot of sense. When asked about her age, Bulma said she's 38, but even Krillin is skeptical when he hears the number. No, she doesn't actually tell anyone that in the actual English dub. I think that's just from the Japanese version. She doesn't reveal that until later on when she slaps Beerus across the face. Meanwhile, the Pilaf gang sneaks into the party with the intention of stealing the Dragon Balls. This is the one part of the movie that I can say I did not like. I don't know why they brought the Pilaf gang back. I don't know why they brought them back into the story. I mean, I understand it's a big celebration of Dragon Ball and everything, and Pilaf was technically the first villain of this franchise, but at the same time, they work okay in the scenes that they have, but the scenes that they have are pretty much pointless to the overall story, waste time, and break the pacing, so yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of these scenes. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not that good either. It's just meh. However, they are unrecognizable as they have been turned into children due to a faulty wish for youth that made them far too young. So they are also invited to the party. Trunks claims Mai is his girlfriend just to boast to Goten, which makes sense. I mean, he has his father's arrogant pride. And when the group questions Mai about her age, she states she is 41, much to the amusement of everyone, because they think that she's just joking because, again, because of the faulty wish, they're stuck as kids, so no one's going to believe anything that comes out of their mouths. As the celebration begins, Pilaf notices Goten and sees his incredibly similar appearance to Goku. He then recalls when Great Ape Goku destroyed his castle decades ago. Yeah, he still has PTSD from that. That was also carried over into a few arcs in the original Dragon Ball, but it's funny that it's brought back here. And he still has this PTSD of Goku and that Ozaru after all of this time. Like, that is hilarious. Absolutely freaking hilarious. The Pilaf gang then steals the 4-star ball, and Mayan holds Trunks at gunpoint. Which, I mean, they try to treat it like a hostile situation, but since they're kids, nobody takes it seriously, and they think that they're just doing it for the show. Like some kind of weird, planned skit kind of thing. It's a bit weird. And being the 4-star ball is actually significant, because if you don't remember, the 4-star ball is the one that matters the most to Goku. That's his grandfather's ball. That's the last thing his grandfather left with him before he passed away. So, having it be the 4-star ball specifically in itself is a reference to way back in the beginning of this entire franchise. So, yeah, you will notice a lot of references and nods to the entire history of Dragon Ball if you're paying attention. Not to mention on rewatches, you'll also spot things that maybe you missed before. That's usually how it goes with this kind of thing. Of course, no one's concerned by this, even believing it to be some kind of act. A drunken Gohan appears as Great Saiyan Man, proceeding to ask Mai to shoot him. He snaps all the bullets with one finger because he's Gohan, he's a Saiyan, and bullets don't hurt Saiyans. But two of them go astray. One hits Videl in the leg, and another one hits Beerus in the forehead. While healing her, Dende notices that Videl is pregnant, a fact that she had been hiding in order to surprise Gohan, and Dende maintains the secret. And then Gohan gets chewed out by his mom for drinking too much. Which, I mean, it makes sense. You just trying to have fun, it went too far, reeling back in. Makes sense. So, yeah. And yeah, that's also how Pan fits into this new timeline as well. For those of you that don't know, and I know I'm not going to talk about GT, but I'm going to talk about this a little bit. In GT, there is a daughter between Gohan and Videl, and her name is Pan. She's the little girl that tags along with Goku, who's turned back into a kid, and Future Trunks as they, go on quests and whatever. And GT is a whole mess that I don't even want to touch right now, but that's the basic explanation. Whereas here, in this timeline, she's still Gohan and Videl's daughter, but for the majority of this timeline, well, this part of the timeline, up to Superhero when they do the time jump, she's a baby. So, yeah, there is a difference. So yeah, Pan is still the daughter of Gohan and Videl, and Videl's pregnant with Pan in this movie, even though they don't do a great job of showing that, because, if she didn't say anything about it, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't even notice. But, I mean, what are you going to do? Point is, she's pregnant, and it's going to play into a really good part of the movie later on. Beerus, who was hit by a stray bullet, now decides to destroy Earth. Makes sense. I mean, when you get hit in the face with something like that, of course you're going to get pissed. As he powers up a devastating attack, Vegeta interrupts, exclaiming that the bingo tournament is about to begin. He then desperately performs a song and dance about bingo, which convinces Beerus and Whis to go on eating a little while longer. Yes, let's talk about Vegeta dancing. No one expected it, no one thought it would happen in a million years because it's completely out of Vegeta's character, but they found a way to do it, and it's absolutely friggin' hilarious. And whenever you see it, you are going to be laughing your freaking butt off for at least a straight 5 minutes. One, Vegeta can't sing. His dancing is not very good. And not to mention, he has to put on this fake smile and actually act excited and theatrical just to sell it to Whis and Beerus to try and get them to, not destroy anything. It makes sense in the story, it's freaking hilarious, and it's a really great part of Vegeta's character, and shows how much he's developed over the years, to the point where he would actually degrade himself to do that just to protect his friends and family. Really shows you how far he's come since he was introduced way back in the Saiyan saga. So, yeah, love that scene. It's one of the funniest scenes in Dragon Ball, and you're going to absolutely love every single minute of it. And if it doesn't make you laugh, you simply have no sense of humor. Plain and simple. One of the funniest and greatest scenes in all of Dragon Ball, and I will die on that hill. Where are we? As the others play bingo, Whis informs Beerus that there's supposed to be some delicious custard pudding, and that Majin Buu is currently eating some. Well, they go to the chef and realize it's not there, and then the chef tells them that Buu took it. So, yeah. It's Majin Buu causing crap again. It's not surprising. But, one thing I do want to say about the little bingo thing, though, is that there's also a really funny little nod here to BoJack Unbound, where Piccolo's playing bingo, and he wants to win a bingo prize. Why, I don't know. And when he loses, he just quits, crumples up the paper, and walks away, and just says, "Stupid Earth Games." Which reminds me a lot of when Piccolo tries to fight... Well, Piccolo had to fight Krillin in BoJack Unbound, but Krillin was scared to death of him. It didn't work out. So he eliminated himself and just walked away. Well, he flew away, but that's besides the point. Like I said, if you pay attention to this while you're watching, you're going to notice a lot of nods to all of Dragon Ball's history, in one way or another. So, I mean, that might also just be my own speculation, but still, really great scene. Beerus politely asks Buu for one, and Whis asks for two, but Buu refuses, stating that he will eat them all himself, because he's Buu and he likes food. Not surprising. Beerus cannot believe Buu will not share when he has so many, but Buu shouts back at him saying that they are all his and proceeds to lick them all. Beerus struggles with Buu over the pudding, so Buu tries to turn him into candy. Well, he says he's going to do it, but he never does it. Vegeta finally notices the altercation and curses himself for letting Beerus out of his sight. The God of Destruction snaps, stating that he will destroy the Earth for this, and he unleashes his power in a fit of rage. Buu rushes to Beerus, but is sent flying into the lake with a mere... I'm just going to call it a little energy push. Vegeta yells for Beerus to stop, and Master Roshi announces the Z-Fighters attack. 18, Tien, and Piccolo attempt to fight Beerus, and the God of Destruction easily defeats them one by one. 18 is knocked out by a single elbow strike to the back of the neck. Tien's attack is halted by a pair of chopsticks. Beerus picked him up from the table, using them to catch his fist and toss him, and Piccolo is rendered unconscious from two swift pressure point strikes to the body by Beerus' chopsticks. And pressure points will come back again later in the Universe 6 saga when Goku and Vegeta fight hits. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Beerus then retrieves Buu from the lake, and meanwhile Gohan powers up and attacks Beerus, only to have his full Nelson reverse, his head slammed into Buu's, and then he takes a heavy kick to the abdomen, which finally puts him down. And then Buu is smashed back down into the lake. Vegeta joins the battle as well, but he is quickly knocked down to the ground, though he does last longer than the others, because he's Vegeta. Goten and Trunks perform the fusion dance to form Gotenks, who then transforms into a Super Saiyan and attempts to battle Beerus, but is quickly defeated as well. Out of options, Vegeta decides to attack Beerus again after the other Z-Fighters had been defeated. Meanwhile, Whis enjoys sushi in a restaurant near Capsule Corporation, not even bothering to watch the battles unfold, and a motorcycle policewoman observes the battle at Capsule Corporation from a distance. I don't know why they put crowd reactions in here. It literally adds nothing. But it's funny to me that Whis would rather just sit there and eat food than watch the fight that's altercating not even a few feet from him. Like, that's hilarious. Unable to stand up to Beerus' incredible power, Vegeta is ultimately defeated, though Beerus compliments his fighting ability. As Beerus is about to finish him off, Bulma, fed up with her party being ruined, walks up and scolds him for that, also revealing that it's her 30th birthday party in the dub, and slaps him across the face. The God of Destruction is unaffected, makes sense, and slaps Bulma back, knocking her out. Seeing his wife being beaten, Vegeta explodes in a fit of rage. You know, that classic, that's my Bulma. I'm not going to do the actual impression because I don't want to blow out my freaking voice box. He powers up and attacks Beerus head-on. Watching the battle, Master Roshi exclaims in amazement that Vegeta's power has finally surpassed that of Goku, meaning that Vegeta finally got what he wanted. It just sucked that it had to happen through this circumstance. And even then, it's temporary. Vegeta's anger gives him incredible strength, which makes sense. But as soon as his rampage is over, Beerus is left unharmed and proceeds to lightly tap Vegeta on the forehead, rendering him unconscious. Goku then finally arrives and pleads with Beerus to allow him to attempt to reach the Super Saiyan God form. Beerus agrees and Goku decides to use the Dragon Balls in order to ask Shenron how to reach the form, which makes sense. The dragon says that a Super Saiyan God once appeared on planet Vegeta to stop the evil Saiyans, but he failed because of the form's time limit. Beerus steps forward and asks the dragon the method of becoming a Saiyan God. Shenron then reveals that they need the light of 5 righteous Saiyans to infuse their power into another Saiyan for him to become a Super Saiyan God. How many times am I going to say Saiyan in this review? I don't care, we're going to keep going. Gohan, Goten, Trunks, and Vegeta hover above the ground, holding hands with Goku, and begin pouring their Super Saiyan power into him. Before long, Goku begins emitting an enormous power level, and that's also seen by little spark balls of energy that come off of Goku's aura. Everyone else then drops out of their Super Saiyan forms as their energy is completely transferred into Goku, who is left with an amazing sparking aura. Krillin states that Goku has surely become a god now, but Piccolo responds by claiming that he has done nothing more than just gather up everyone's energy, which gives him a temporary boost. Beerus agrees, noting that a god's energy is not expressed in battle power, and Goku realizes that he will still be no match for Beerus. Whis then proceeds to remind them of what Shenron actually said, the power of 5 Saiyans must be infused into another. In other words, a total of 6 pure-hearted Saiyans is required, meaning that Goku goofed up the count because he's Goku. They struggle to think up where they can find another pure-hearted Saiyan, and Bulma remembers that Vegeta has a younger brother living off on some distant planet. Vegeta states that he does not know his brother's whereabouts and therefore would not be of any help. That's an homage and a reference to the Yo-Son Goku and his friends return special. And I'm not reviewing that because that's an OVA and I don't think it hasn't been dubbed yet. Growing impatient, Beerus decides that he and Whis should depart, but Videl steps forward and says that there is another Saiyan, or at least there will be. And at first, Mr. Saiyan thinks that Videl's talking about her because he's still a little bit drunk. It's Mr. Saiyan, it fits his character. Dende then finally reveals that Videl is pregnant, a fact that she wanted to keep a secret to surprise Gohan later, but he is still ecstatic at hearing the wonderful news, meaning that Goku is now going to be a grandpa. Everyone is overjoyed and begins celebrating, except for Vegeta, who just does his usual crossed arms, eyes closed, look over thing. But Beerus interrupts them and questions whether Goku is going to ascend to Super Saiyan God or not. The ritual is attempted again, this time with the addition of Videl, who carries a Saiyan-human hybrid inside of her, who, like I said, would later be named Pan. The 6 of them gather together and grab hands. This time, a blue light starts to emit from everyone and engulfs Goku, who begins to rise into the air. A bright blue light erupts from Goku, bursting into an intense aura that quickly dissipates, and Goku descends back down to the ground, apparently having finally become a Super Saiyan God. Let's talk about the Super Saiyan God form. It is awesome. Like, I love the God form. I love its aesthetic. I love its whole, I love its whole aesthetic. I love the color. I mean, red looks really good on Goku, and the red eyes is a nice touch. Not to mention they give him a slightly darker skin tone, slightly make him a bit more, smaller and compact. Like, he does drop a few pounds. And it just looks really cool. Yes, the aura is a bit weird because it's blatant CGI, but aside from that, it looks great. Not to mention, it also gives Goku's gi a much brighter orange than usual. Even brighter than when he's in Super Saiyan, which is a really nice touch. So, yeah, I have no complaints about the God form. I wish it was just used more instead of just going straight to Super Saiyan Blue. But as it is, Super Saiyan God is fantastic. I love its aesthetic. I love its colors. I love just its whole vibe, and the way it feels so just godly and elegant, like beautiful form. Absolutely love it, and the transformation, one of the best in the franchise. Easily. And of course, one of the most iconic moments in the franchise as well. So, awesome. Now let's get to the fight. Goku and Beerus standing facing each other, staring down one another. Goku gradually begins glowing, slowly emitting a fiery red aura, and then launches towards Beerus, delivering a massive punch. But Beerus intercepts it, causing it a huge shockwave and a crater to appear. The two then take to the air to continue their fight, and Beerus states that he is so far pleased. But Goku reveals that he's dissatisfied with this new power, disliking the fact that he was unable to obtain it on his own. Yeah, he has a little bit of that Saiyan pride as well. It's just not as obnoxious as Vegeta. Angered, Beerus delivers a heavy punch to Goku's abdomen and follows up with a ferocious kick, one that sends him flying through West City. Goku stops himself midair, but before he can counterattack, Beerus attacks from behind and puts him in a headlock. Beerus then quickly whirls him around, proceeding to kick Goku off into a nearby forest, and then gives chase. Yeah, there is a lot of variety in this fight. Goku and Beerus battle in the forest when Beerus sends Goku soaring with another kick straight to the face. Beerus then gives chase once again, and the two end up in a mountainous desert area surrounded by large rock formations. Goku and Beerus charge at each other and their punches collide, sending out an earth-shattering shockwave. They pull away from each other and a trickle of blood falls from a cut on Goku's cheek, which is an homage to the gritty, bloody brutality of his league. Beerus questions Goku on whether or not he's still dissatisfied with godhood, and Goku confirms that he is. Their battle is then pushed into a subterranean cavern, and Beerus informs Goku this sort of pride can be a weakness. However, Beerus then admits that he's too overall dissatisfied, having been fighting nowhere near his full strength. Goku is astonished, having been fighting at about 80% of his full strength. Now realizing Goku is also holding back, Beerus charges and begins vigorously pummeling him. Suddenly, Goku's red aura disappears and he reverts to his normal state. The two continue their bout, with Goku utilizing instant transmission in order to counter Beerus' increased speed. Again, he's a great fighter, he's fast on his feet. Beerus then unleashes a barrage of rapid fire energy blasts that Goku barely manages to dodge. Goku manages to come around Beerus' side and is able to strike him hard in the gut. Now truly angry, Beerus fires off countless energy blasts in every direction. Goku tries to dodge all the boulders falling from above, but he's then quickly overwhelmed. I can't freaking talk. He then suddenly bursts out and transforms into Super Saiyan, refusing to let Beerus destroy his world in one of the most awesome, badass Goku lines you will ever hear in your life. Goku flies up to the surface with Beerus giving chase, and Goku's still unaware that he doesn't have his god power anymore. Goku continues to hold his own as the battle moves up into the Earth's atmosphere. Goku then fires a massive Kamehameha wave at Beerus, but he takes the energy blast on and then prepares a huge attack of his own, an enormous energy spear. As Goku struggles against Beerus' attack, he is reminded that the Super Saiyan God's form time limit has run out. Goku reveals he had not noticed this, because as he fought, he apparently absorbed that realm of power into his body. Due to this, even after returning to normal, Goku's power saw relatively no decrease. Beerus then fires a finger beam into the energy sphere, making it larger, which threatens now to destroy the Earth, but as his friends and family cheer him on, Goku momentarily becomes a Super Saiyan God once more and repels the attack in one final burst. But at this point, the fight is over. Goku is spent, all his energy is gone, and he is exhausted. Yeah, that's another way this fight is one of the best in the franchise, because Goku actually loses, but still feels satisfying, because he gives it his all, he gets a new form, and he manages to impress Beerus and earn his respect. That's pretty much what the entire fight was about the whole time. Yes, the Earth was at stake. Yes, Beerus said he was going to destroy it, and yes, Goku was stepping in because he's, the defender of the Earth. But honestly, in all honesty, when you really stop and think about it, this fight was more about Beerus trying to get Goku push him to new heights he's never reached before, to also satisfy his own craving for battle. And Goku, and his fight at the end of the day, is really just to earn Beerus's respect. And he achieves that. And you can see a bond develop between the two, between not just the fight, but honestly the entire movie. And it's well developed, it's really well done, and it definitely has that master-student dynamic that Dragon Ball has made so well. With characters like Master Roshi, North Kai, Supreme Kai, it's really, really good and really just dives back into the very roots of the Dragon Ball franchise in ways that even I can't try to do justice in just one video. It is insanely just amazing. Everything that they were able to pack into this movie, and it doesn't feel overstuffed. It doesn't feel rushed. It feels like a big event because it was a big event. This was Dragon Ball's big comeback after 17 years of a hiatus from the movies specifically. It was more like around 15, 14 years from the actual last time we got Dragon Ball content. And, of course, Toriyama also made this as a rebuttal against the awful Evolution, meaning that without Evolution, this wouldn't exist. So Evolution is still the worst movie made by human beings, but I am glad it exists, because without it, we would not have this. So, it's just amazing. It is all just friggin' amazing. Impressed, Beerus decides to stop the fight if Goku agrees to surrender. Goku, having realized he's truly no match for the God of Destruction, obliges and steps down. Impressed by Goku's power, Beerus states that he was the second strongest person he has ever faced. Goku laughs, but is curious as to why he is only second. Because he wants to be the number one. He wants to be a rival. Beerus then reveals that while Whis is his attendant, he is also his master and his teacher. Beerus then also reveals this world is the 7th universe, but there are 12 universes in total. Goku cannot help but laugh at the prospect of there being even more incredible beings in existence. Goku then finally collapses out of exhaustion and causes panic among the Z Fighters and company. But Gohan confirms that Goku is still alive and well. Well, that's not entirely how it happened. He does faint, but Beerus saves him from falling by grabbing his shirt and taking him down himself. So, yeah, that's the fight. It's amazing. It's one of the best in the franchise, and I don't know how else I can really do it justice. All I can say is go see it for yourself. And the track that kicks in when Goku goes Super Saiyan, one of the best tracks in the franchise. And it's the cover you literally just heard in the background of this video. So, yeah. Amazing fight, just great story importance, and it was really fun. And it was amazing to look at. The camera angles, and yes, there was a little bit of crappy CGI, yes, but it's not that bad. So, yeah, amazing, in my opinion. Not to mention, this is the movie that managed to expand the universe of Dragon Ball out even further, into 12 whole universes all together. Just the prospect of that was enough to get fans excited for whatever was going to follow this. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they put their all into this movie. And, well, now it's canon. It's official canon because it did so well. It's not a one-off like the other DBZ movies were in the past. This one is official canon, and it expanded the entire world of Dragon Ball to heights that have never been seen up to that point. It is truly amazing what they were able to accomplish with this one movie that's not even 2 hours long. It's amazing. Beerus then proceeds to destroy the Earth as promised, and he fires off another fearsome-looking attack. But it only destroys a small rock, claiming that he is out of stamina, which is a lie. He spared it because of the food, but it works. Whis proceeds to offer Goku the job of being the next destroyer after Beerus one day dies, but Goku turns him down. Makes sense, he's not the destroyer type. Beerus then apologizes to Bulma for hitting her, showing that he also has a moral compass. She invites them to their next party, making them agree to not cause any more problems next time. Beerus understands, though states that next time he'd better receive some of that pudding that he longed for. Bulma promises that she will prepare some just for him, and that he better like how it tastes. Beerus responds by threatening to destroy the Earth indefinitely if they do end up tasting bad. He won't say a word. So, compromise. And Goku exclaims that he will stop him again if he tries. Beerus and Whis bid everyone farewell and depart into space. Watching these events from their respective planets, King Kai, Kibito Kai, and Old Kai cannot believe that Goku actually got the God of Destruction Beerus to not destroy something, and they are amazed at Goku's character and his ability to befriend even the most fearsome of enemies. Back at his planet, Beerus discusses with Whis about Goku and his immeasurably latent power. Beerus then states that Goku and Vegeta might soon actually become fearsome foes for him. Whis pulls out some sushi that he brought back from Earth with him, and he and Beerus begin to eat. He explains to Beerus about soy sauce and wasabi, which he learned about while Beerus was busy fighting. Beerus proceeds to try some of the wasabi. While he doesn't try some of it, he puts the whole friggin' thing in his mouth like an idiot, which turns his face red and he shoots up into the air in extreme pain. Destroying the worlds around his temple, Whis rushes over and karate chops Beerus in order to make him stop. Beerus later wakes up and blames his tantrum on the Earthlings and vows to destroy them. Fortunately, Whis argues that it was Beerus' fault for disregarding their warnings about the wasabi, so Beerus finishes the food without the wasabi and likes it, sparing them his wrath. He then orders Whis to wake him up in 3 years and he goes to sleep, but not before Whis reminds him that he has not yet brushed his teeth. Again, so much care, effort, and dedication. It is absolutely stellar. On Earth, Bulma's birthday party recommences. Vegeta angrily informs Goku that next time he will be the one who gets to become the Super Saiyan God, and Goku had better cooperate. Well, and he agrees, because it's only fair. Goku states that Vegeta became an incredible Super Saiyan when Bulma was hit and mimics him shouting, "My Bulma!" He even tries to do the voice, which is hilarious. Bulma tells Vegeta that she felt loved when he did that, but the latter denies having said such a thing and tries to focus attention on the fact that at that moment, he surpassed Goku. Goku agrees and says that the next time they are up against a powerful opponent, they should have their enemy slap Bulma, to which Bulma responds by slapping Goku across the face. Piccolo angrily points out that Goku must have been around when that happened and suspects that he teleported in and was watching everyone as they fought Beerus. Hearing this, Oolong jumps onto Goku, yelling at him about their lives being in such extreme danger. Goku says he wanted to watch Beerus try to form a strategy, but ultimately that was useless. Vegeta suggests Bulma slaps Goku again, calling it her signature slap, to which she agrees to do with pleasure. Goku starts crawling away as Bulma prepares to slap him, and off-screen, she slaps him several times, and they use the punch sound effect from the actual fights in Z. That's Battle of Gods. It is an incredible story that they really put a lot of time and effort into. It feels like Toriyama from top to bottom. They put in so much care, passion, and effort into every single moment. The Pilaf gang is my only problem with this movie, and some crappy CGI, but it's only there for a few seconds, so it's not that bad. So, yeah, I pretty much have nothing but positivity for Battle of Gods. It is an amazing film, it is a fantastic film, and, well, happy 10th anniversary, and it brought back Dragon Ball in a big way and accelerated it into heights that have never been seen before, or arguably even since, because even to this day, fans still say that this is the best one out of all the movies. I can't say that anymore, though I would say up to about 2015, 2016, I would absolutely say that, because yes, Resurrection F is not as good, but it was a nice follow-up, so yeah, I love and adore Battle of Gods, as I'm sure every other Dragon Ball fan does in the known existence. So, yeah, the story here is fantastic. They did an amazing job getting all the characters back together. Everything made sense. Everything was comprehensive. And they still found time to throw in references, build on the world and the lore, have an amazing fight, give Goku a brand new transformation, and a hilarious ending. It is God tier, undoubtedly, in the entirety of not just the movies, and not just of Dragon Ball in general, but honestly in all of animated movies, period. Like, if they didn't disqualify anime movies, I would willing to bet that this would have won the Best Animated Movie Oscar of 2013. But instead, they went to Frozen, because apparently people just have no taste. But whatever. What the heck do I know, right? I'm just a 22-year-old guy talking to you through a screen on YouTube. Point is, Battle of Gods is a masterpiece, and I have little to nothing negative to say about it. And because I want to go absolutely all out with this review, I'm not just going to go straight to the voice acting. We're going to talk about the timeline placement, and we're going to do some facts on top of the voice acting, and then we're going to finish off with the final verdict in my written review, which in itself is pretty lengthy. So, like I said, this is going over an hour. So if you've stuck up to this point, thank you. And please stick around a little more. So the timeline placement. The movie takes place 4 years after Kid Buu's defeat, 6 years before the 28th World Martial Arts Tournament in age 778, according to the 2013 exhibition The World of Dragon Ball. It also takes place after the events of Dragon Ball The Return of Son Goku and Friends, or Yo Son Goku and His Friends Return, as it's more well known by, which is set 2 years after Kid Buu's defeat, as Bulma references Tarble, the younger brother of Vegeta who the Z Fighters and their friends met in that special. So that special is still canon. As a continuation of the manga, its events take place between the manga chapters 517 and 518. We're going to skip the development because that is a lot. So, let's go to releases. In Japan, the film was released on DVD Standard and DVD Special Limited Edition, as well as a Blu-ray Standard and Blu-ray Special Limited Edition on September 13th of 2013. In addition to the film, the disc also contains a trailer collection and design materials collection. In addition to those extras, the special limited editions come with a recording studio report and interview collection, a recorder of the Day One onstage greeting, as well as a Super Saiyan God 3D wall figure, a postcard set of all 18 theatrical features, and a special booklet. The extra DVD included with the limited editions contains the Yo Son Goku and His Friends Return special, which again, up to that point, was only available in the English sub. If it's been dubbed, please let me know in the comments and I will look at it. I have nothing against the subs, I just prefer dub because that's the way I've always watched Dragon Ball. So, I don't mean any offense or disrespect to any of the Japanese voice actors. They do a great job, absolutely. But me, I'm just always going to prefer an English dub. It's just the way I am. It's just the way that I remember Dragon Ball best. A director's cut, creator's cut version, also called Special Edition, aired on Fuji TV on March 22nd of 2014 with 20 minutes of added footage. It appears additional scenes of relationships between Whis and Beerus, gag action with the Peel-Off Gang, and scenes featuring characters who did not play much of a role in the original version, such as Oolong and Mr. Satan. The special edition was released in Japan on March 13th of 2015 on DVD and Blu-ray. The film was then released in North America on October 7th of 2014 on DVD and Blu-ray. The DVD only included the special extended edition, while the Blu-ray contained both theatrical and extended. That's the one that I have. So, that's the many, many different versions of this movie. And the lucky buggers in Japan, they got a freaking steelbook, so... let me see if I can go down to success. I want to talk about the success of this movie, if I can find it. Success. I want to talk about the success, how much money it made at the box office. Okay, it's not going to let me show. It's not going to show me. Okay. Whatever. We'll just go straight to voice cast then. Let's just run through them nice and quick because most of them are ones that we already know, but there are a few changes that we do need to talk about. So, Sean Schemmel is Goku, Christopher Sabat is Vegeta, Kyle Herber is Gohan, Christopher Sabat is Piccolo, Sonny Strait is Krillin, Christopher Sabat's Yamcha, John Bergmeyer is Tien, Brina Palencia is Chaozu, that's a new one, Laura Bailey is Kid Trunks, Kara Edwards is Goten, they both are Gotenks. And then I think the rest of them, there's a lot of people in here. Chuck Huber's back as Emperor Pilaf, Colin Clinkerbeard returns as Mai, Chris Carson, is Shu again. Brina Palencia also is also Puara now. I don't know why they changed that. That's weird. Brad Jackson, Zulon, Mike McFarlane's Master Roshi, Cynthia Carran's is Chi-Chi, Kyle Herbert is the Ox King, Meredith McCoy is Android 18, Mr. Satan's Chris Rager, Josh Martin's Majin Buu, Kara Edwards is Videl, Justin Cook is Dende, Christopher Sabat's Vegeta, Mark Stoddard is Dr. Breed, Cynthia Kranz is Bikini, that's the name of Bulma's father. Well, mother, I'm sorry. Bulma's mother. Mary Elizabeth McGlynn is the policewoman that barely does anything. Taliesin Jaff is the sushi chef that talks with Whis. Kent Williams is Old Kai. Kent Williams is also Kibito Kai. Sean Shamwell's King Kai. Christopher Sabat's Bubbles. Christopher Bevins is B. And Kyle Herbert is back as the narrator once again. Alright, now let's talk about some of the new ones. Let's start with the big change with this movie, and that is Bulma. She's not played by Tiffany Vollmer anymore. I believe her last performance as the character was in the Dragon Ball movie Path to Power, which was released as the 10th anniversary of the franchise. So, now she's voiced by Monica Rial, who now voices her in everything Dragon Ball related to this very day. And, I have some things to say about her. Let's start with her actual performance before I get into how she is as a person. So, her performance as Bulma is very good. I personally prefer Tiffany Vollmer. I think she does a much better job at conveying Bulma's overall emotion and character and personality, but I understand that Bulma is older in this version than she was in all the other ones, because there is a time jump here. So, it makes sense to try and get someone to sound more adult, and more sound, not sound like a friggin' young adult or teenager. Makes sense. But Monica Rial in person apparently is an absolutely disgusting and despicable human being. I will get more into this when I talk about DBS Broly, but she has done some horrible things. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of her. Not at all. She does a good job as the voice, sure, but I mean, she's a terrible human being. If you're a terrible human being, then I don't like you, no matter how good your performance is. So, yeah, terrible human being, but decent voice actor. Next. Moving on from that, like I said, I'm going to say my whole piece about that whole debacle when we get to DBS Broly. Let's start with some of the new stuff. Let's start with Jason Douglas as Beerus. If that name sounds familiar to you, it's because Jason Douglas is best known for his role on the AMC TV show The Walking Dead. Yes, that's Jason Douglas. He is the voice of Beerus. And he is absolutely just amazing as this character. He's funny, he's badass, he's extremely likable, despite, being a god of destruction. And he does an amazing job with the voice performance, conveying the personality, and Beerus's just overall goofiness. It's done in a way that doesn't feel insulting, it's done in a way that makes sense in the world of Dragon Ball. And, again, he absolutely just nails the performance. I love his voice, and just does an amazing job. I have not watched Walking Dead. It is way too just convoluted and confusing for me. But yeah, for Walking Dead fans, I'm pretty sure that one's a treat for you guys. And he does an amazing job as the character. Next, we have Ian Sinclair as the voice of Whis. As you guys remember, his first performance in Dragon Ball piece of media was back in Wrath of the Dragon, where he played a background character. And now he's the voice of arguably the secondary character of the movie aside from Goku. And he does an amazing job. I love Whis' character, I love his design, I love his personality, and he's extremely funny. I don't think he's as funny as Beerus, but he's extremely funny. And I love how, his overreaction to, food that would seem common to people like you and me. So, yeah, Whis is fantastic. Love Whis. Monica Rial is also Oracle Fish. She does fine, I guess. I don't really have much to say there. And I think that's it, because everyone else is returning characters, returning voice actors from either Kai or from the original series. So, there's not many facts about this one. Bit odd. Okay, let's do some trivia now. The film features the special guest voice Kaori Matsumoto, Olympic gold medalist judoka, and Shoko Nakagawa, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, Gavor, idol, singer, and TV personality. The Fuji TV announcer Shinichi Karubi also has a part in the movie. Okay, that's obviously exclusive to the Japanese version. The scene of Goku trying to stop Beerus from destroying Earth above space seems to be very reminiscent of how Bardock tried to save planet Vegeta from being destroyed way back in an episode of Bardock. Bardock Father Goku. Unlike Bardock, however, Goku succeeds in saving his home planet. The second trailer for the film and scans show Gohan as a Super Saiyan when he attacks Beerus, but the actual film shows Gohan in his ultimate state during those scenes. However, Gohan indeed appears as a Super Saiyan in the film, but only when the Saiyans gather their energy for Goku to become a Super Saiyan God. So, other words, that's a lay whoops. They forgot to change. Well, thankfully they changed it before they got to the final print because, yeah, having him be Super Saiyan instead of going straight to max power, that would have been a little bit confusing. There are discrepancies concerning the ages of some characters, namely Mai and Bulma. Despite being born in age 733, Bulma claims that she is 38, whereas her actual age should be 45. Mai claims to be 40, she mentions she will turn 41 in March, and while her exact birth year is never mentioned in any known source, this age would have made her only 12 years old during the events of the Emperor Pilaf saga, despite having the appearance of a young woman at the time. Although both of these discrepancies could easily be the result of both women lying to conceal their actual age, as some older women have a tendency to do as they are sensitive about the fact that they are getting older and wish to be viewed by others as a younger than they actually are. It is also maybe reference to the idea it is impolite to ask a woman about her age. Okay then. Despite taking place 4 years after the end of the Buu saga, many characters, particularly Trunks, Goten, and Marin, do not seem to have aged at all. In fact, Marin seems younger as her height and hair length appear shorter than 4 years earlier. Marin is in the special edit. Yeah, that's right. I was about to say, for a second I thought they said Bola. I'm like, hold on, no, Bola's not in this. She doesn't appear until Super. Beerus claims he visited Earth long ago and caused the dinosaurs' extinction, yet in the Dragon Ball universe, dinosaurs still thrive on Earth. It is possible that the dinosaurs were brought back to life by an unnamed corporation within the Dragon Ball universe. Alternatively, it may be tied to Arale Noramaki's use of the Time Slipper, which does not create alternate timelines, to save the dinosaurs from extinction in Dr. Slump, indicating Beerus wasn't lying as he was most likely unaware of Arale's actions. Nice to tie both franchises together, even though you already had a whole, mini arc inside of the Red Ribbon saga for that. Beerus' comment that Saiyans with pride are rare is also odd, given the strong Saiyan pride demonstrated by Vegeta, Nappa, Turles, King Vegeta, and many other Saiyans throughout the series. However, it is possible that Beerus was unaware of Saiyan pride due to King Vegeta and his son's willingness to swallow their pride in order to avoid angering Beerus and facing his divine wrath. Makes sense. The outfit that Yamcha has in this film is exactly the same outfit as Sukutsun Suyin had in the 1997 Dr. Slump remake. I didn't even know it got a remake. It's implied that gods of destruction can choose to retire and give their position to someone else who they deem worthy enough. This would also mean that they can gift immortality to their successor if the candidate is mortal, or bring them back from Otherworld if need be. This would be shown with Belmond and Top. Or Toppo. That's explained later in the Universe of All Saga. In the scene where Krillin, Tien, Trunks, Goten, and Yamcha fly off to watch the battle between Super Saiyan God Goku and Beerus, Trunks can be seen wearing his overall outfit, despite the fact that he should be wearing his gi at that point. Lay whoops. One of Krillin's artwork depicts him wearing his gi and having the same hairstyle he had in the Majin Buu arc. In the final release, he was seen in a completely different outfit. As far as the combat goes, like Yamcha, Krillin was never seen fighting at any point during the film, although they stood by their fellow Z-fighters, ready to face Beerus after Goku's been defeated. Mai and Trunks can be seen sitting in a tree near the end of the film, which may be a tongue-in-cheek reference to the line "sitting in a tree" from the classic American song, "Kissing in a Tree." You know that whole friggin' thing. Which is a common motive that relates to the awkwardness of the relationship between young boys and young girls. Okay, then. Well, all that's left now is the written review. And again, if you've stuck this long, thank you. Seriously, thank you. This video was a really huge project because, I mean, it's the big 10th anniversary. I had to make it just as big and amazing as humanly possible. So, yeah. So, here's my written review, then we'll get to the final verdict, and then it's next time on Super Saiyan-Tember 2. So, outstanding animation despite some CGI, fantastic action, superb voice acting, especially Jason Douglas from The Walking Dead as Beerus and Ian Sinclair as Whis, great story, sharp writing, numerous references and callback to the series' history up to that point, including some iconic moments gloriously reanimated, loads of funny moments, Vegeta dancing, enough said, excellent world building, fantastic new characters, great pacing, outstanding runtime of over an hour and a half, a god-tier transformation, amazing soundtrack, a phenomenal final battle, a great ending, outstanding character development, and indescribably high rewatchability. Only flaw is that the peel-off gang just getting a little too much screen time and ruining the pacing every now and then. Even 10 years later, this is still a masterpiece. It brought Dragon Ball back after a 17-year-long hiatus and took it to new heights never seen before in its history up to that point. I'd say absolutely go watch this one, but considering its high praise from pretty much everyone online during and since its release and its incredible box office, I reckon you probably already have. But for whatever reason, if you haven't witnessed it yet, watch it now. That sums up everything. You need to watch this movie by any means necessary. Buy it digitally, buy a physical version. Heck, like I said, go see it when it reruns in theaters in October. Like, you have numerous options. You should not skip this one. This is pivotal to the Dragon Ball franchises, pivotal to the history, and arguably it's one of the greatest anime movies ever made. And yes, I will die on that hill. This is a phenomenal movie. It's an outstanding movie, and I have literally nothing but praise about it. Not just because I'm a huge fan of DBZ, but also because it helped me rediscover my love for DBZ after such a long hiatus of forgetting how much I love this franchise. But yeah, I love this movie, I love this franchise, and this was the movie that helped me rediscover my love for it, and it'll always have a place in my heart. Is it my favorite Dragon Ball movie? I can't say that because I think there's one that is better, and we will get to it when we get to it, but point is, this is a masterpiece. I literally have nothing but positivity for this, and I only have one flaw, and it's very minor, and at that point, I'm just nitpicking. So, overall, my final verdict for the incredible masterpiece that is Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods 10 years later, almost 10 years later, just ignore it, just pretend it's 10 years later, okay? 10 years later, it's going to be an easy, highest score I've given in this entire marathon so far, 11 out of 10. 11. It deserves it. It is a movie that is always going to have a place in my heart. I will never get sick and tired of rewatching it, and without it, well, we wouldn't have Dragon Ball nowadays, if you really think about it. So, yeah, I love this movie, I adore this movie, and I will always be thankful for how it helped me rediscover how much I love and adore this franchise. Yes, even more than the Blue Blur. So, yeah, Dragon Ball Z is an amazing franchise. This is the one that helped me rediscover that love, and not even a little bit afterwards, I saw the entire show from start to finish from DBZ Kai, so yeah, I have nothing but positivity for Battle of Gods. It is an incredible movie, and if for whatever reason you still haven't watched it yet, go watch it now. And that concludes our longest review to date on Super Saiyan-Tember 2 about Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. This was a huge project. I wanted to put my absolute all into it because, not only because it's the movie's 10th anniversary, but also because I'm just such a huge Dragon Ball fan, and I know that this one is a huge fan favorite, so I wanted to go all out. And I think I've done that pretty well here, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And we are halfway through the marathon now, so all we have left now is 3 more movies, an updated tier list, and then the sagas of the franchise. Again, except for GT, because I don't want to torture myself. So. thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time when we talk about this movie's great, but not as great follow-up, that is Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F. Shout out to Brett Sutton, he's the one that recommended that one, and that one's going to be dedicated to him, so. Yep, I'll see you guys next time for Resurrection F, but until then, thank you guys for watching. I'm Jad Swan Animation Station. Stay Super Saiyan, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!
Can find